You see how tired I am right now? This is tired. This is after 11 hours at the financial salt mines. Putting in work, asking myself why I left paradise on the other side of the world to come back to America and do this. This is the whole reason I escaped this place, was to avoid living like this, being in this kind of rat race. It's impossible to have a life in America. You can live here, but you cannot really live here, honestly. Outside of America, you feel like you have a life. Even if you're financially struggling, it feels like you still have something very real. But here, it feels like you're just part of a massive carnival. You're just paying for tickets to go on a ride, paying for tickets to play some kind of game, but in the end, it just drains you dry. You cannot live a life here. I mean, I can't imagine making $40,000, $50,000 a year in America at this point. I mean, I don't know how you live. I don't know how you do it. I do quite well for myself, and it's a struggle here. And granted, yes, I have a family, but at the same time, it's like, man, is it almost impossible to do this? And is it worth it? Is really the question in the end, because the answer is not for normal people. For normal people, this isn't worth it. You know, if you've attained some measure of wealth that's enough for you to actually enjoy everything this country has to offer, then yeah, this country can be worth it. But that's very few people. The vast majority of people in this country struggle. Working here is insane, and it really gives you nothing. You work just to live. You work to survive. Cost of living be damned, rent be damned. I mean, you can't afford any of these things, and it's just getting worse. Because honestly, for normal people, life sucks in America. You know, don't look at Instagram and see the lives that everyone's living, going out, going on crazy adventures, going crazy on vacations. But maybe that's what they say. Maybe you should go on a vacation. Maybe you should take a vacation. Can you? Can you really? I think for most people in America, going on a vacation means sitting at home and scrolling through travel channels as you wait for your $30 order from DoorDash that cost $10 at the store and cost $1 for them to make. I mean, it is a racket. It is a scam. America is a big scam, and it drains you dry. And besides, even if you wanted to go on vacation, you don't have time to go on a vacation because you have to work 60 hours a week. And if you take a 3-day weekend off so you can actually live life and call off a day from a job that is slowly and actively killing you, your next performance evaluation is going to tell you how you're just not part of the team, right? How you took days off and it really cost the team their productivity. You're just acting a little bit selfish. To live your life, to not give 100% of your life to the workforce in America is to be seen as selfish. Work 60 hours a week and, you know, you're a good contributing member of society. But take a little bit of time off and no, he's just, you know, he's doing things his own way, and that doesn't really fit in here. Yeah, I say throw it all away and just live your life. Live your life, because anything has to be better than just wasting your life away at a job. See, just phone it in and go to the gym. Focus on your health. That's got to be more rewarding than working yourself to death. I've been working this job like 4 months now, and I feel like I've aged terribly. I've lost muscle mass, my skin. I look like I'm 50 years old now. Like, what the... You know, I cannot wait for my kid to get born because I get 6 weeks of paternity leave. And maybe in that stressful time that I'm going to be hearing crying all the time, I can at least go to the gym in the morning and have time for that. Because that sounds lovely. Just going and sweating on a treadmill sounds so much better than staring at a computer, listening to my boss, answering emails, talking to clients, missing my lunch because, you know, to take a full lunch means that you're lazy. Anything sounds better than that. At some point, we need to ask ourselves, why, in God's name, are we constantly trying and pushing to succeed in a country that continuously moves the goalpost to success just a little bit further out of reach? No matter how far you go, no matter how hard you try, no matter how well you're doing, you think that you're going to get to that place where you call yourself successful, then they just push it a little further back. Whether that's inflation, whether that's cost of living going up, whether that's the economy just starting to tank, whether you're getting fired, anything. It's always moving further and further away, you know? And so, who are you going to listen to? I mean, we get tired of this and we go on YouTube and try to get some kind of inspiration to just help us get up in the morning and do another day. But it's just some crazy influencer saying, buy my supplement, you peasant. Buy my supplement from a questionable distributor in Southeast Asia that doubles as a childcare center so they can pay child-size wages. You know, just stop. What's the point? What's the point? Because if we're going to be miserable, at least just let us enjoy our misery. Let us sit in that sweet, succulent lacquer, that nice, sad zone, you know, because at least I'd be sad and have my energy. So I don't know, so I can go do anything else and live how I want to live, because I swear to God on my gravestone, if it says, well, he was a good worker, he was a hard worker, I will rise from the grave and I will terrorize this planet. I will bring forth the zombie plague that should have happened after 2008 when we bailed out all the banks and screwed every American person. I will come back with a furious vengeance, I swear. There has to be a better way. There has to be something else. And if you're wondering where I am and why I'm not in my truck, honestly, it's too dark. I got off and the sun's already down and I got an office downstairs in my house. I'm just going to sit here on my nice reclining couch listening to the gaggle of Turkish women upstairs just squawking away. You know, love them to death. But they're loud. And I need some peace and quiet, and I just wanted to talk to you guys out here and commiserate. Because work life in America is it is the worst, most unproductive, unrewarding work you can possibly have. Because, I mean, in the end, what can you really do? You can barely have a family. You can't have a family. You know, that's just gone now. Like, it is punishment to try to have a family. I essentially have 3 different jobs, this being one of them, just to make sure all this works. And it's a lot, please. You know, and I know that I'm not the only one out there. I mean, it's a common thing. If you're just going to go work at Walmart and try to raise a family, good luck. Hopefully the government will subsidize you. Hopefully you are poor, because that's the only way that you can get any kind of help. Because if you're above the poverty line, you're just absolutely screwed. And if you mess up, if you just have one misstep in your life, they're going to take your kids away. There's no point to this. And that's another reason I wanted to do this today, because I'm going to put this out on Wednesday morning, because I think that we can all just really kind of be in misery together on a Wednesday morning on our way to work. Dealing with our boss, dealing with loud people, got to talk about things you don't want to hear about. You just want to shut down, run into your house, and that would be it. And that's the worst thing, because that is just more unhealthy antisocial behavior. That is a symptom that manifests from this kind of work lifestyle. It all just feeds into each other like one big cycle. I mean, and there is no way out, it feels like. And I know for a lot of you out there, it feels like there's no way out. And with the impact of the tariffs that still hasn't even hit us, how bad can it get, and how bad can we really take? The inevitable dystopia, lasting about 4 minutes and 31 seconds, give or take a few seconds. Listen, I know I probably have it better off than the vast majority of Americans out there. I can understand that. But at the same time, I mean, I can understand because we're always close to the edge. I mean, everyone is, you know, in the chronic instability that we all face every day, whether that's just us trying to live our lives, us trying to save. When it doesn't really seem to be a reason to save, because either money is going to be so devalued that it's not going to be worth anything, or things are going to get so expensive that we can't even afford them. It just feels like we should just spend whatever we get, and that's what people are doing. People are just spending their money relentlessly, just recklessly, right? People are turning into spendthrifts, while I used to hate that. I kind of understand it now, because it feels like, what's the point of saving? You know, you work to barely get by, so the money that you do have, you know, if you don't see a light at the end of the table, why save? You know, if you're not planning on having a family, why save? You know, if you don't think that Social Security is going to be run, if you don't think you're going to ever even be able to retire, just Because how can you at this point, careers, jobs for the most part don't even have retirement pensions like they used to. You have to do some kind of speculative high-risk investment just for it to pay off enough in the future that you can actually live. Maybe 10, 20 years after you retire at that point, age 75 or 85, and have, 5 or 6 years left before you die when you're in the worst health of your life. Yikes. But that's what it is now, and that's what we work for. We work and we work so at some point, society in its infinite mercy can give us a couple years to just lay on a beach and pass away. Just push me in the water and let me float out and let the fish eat me at this point. I'm just kidding, because honestly, if I didn't have a family, if I didn't have a kid coming in just a couple days, there's no way we would be here doing this. There's no way. And honestly, we are not seeing a future here, so we're going to be bouncing pretty soon. And if you can, you definitely should try. Because it's looking pretty sketchy for the future here. It really is. And I know I'm not the only one who sees that. Because as far as the work culture goes, if I'm working 50, 60 hours a week, what's next, right? How far can I push? How far can we push? 40, 50, 60 hours, next 70, 80 is going to be normal. You leave your one job to clock into the next full-time job, just jobs back to back, and then you're going to have to monetize your time off, your OnlyFans, your YouTube, your side hustle for your two main jobs. Yeah, it's depressing because it's not even Black Mirror anymore. It is a coming reality. It's an inevitability that it's just going to step up because things are going to get more expensive and money is worth less and they're not paying us more. So, forget about buying a house. Just pretty soon, jobs are going to have to start subsidizing housing for their workers. And some people may think that that's a good idea. I think it sounds like a freaking nightmare, honestly, but I think at some point, that's got to be the only answer, right? There's got to be subsidized housing for everybody, work-sponsored housing, work-sponsored grocery stores. At some point, the cost of everything gets so high that you're just going to be working for credit. It's Black Mirror. I guess it's science fiction. Yeah, it's terrible, but at this point it almost seems realistic, and at this point it almost makes sense, and what a strange dystopia we're moving down into. I worked 11 hours, I have a long commute to work. I just wanted to come down here, put my feet up on my recliner, had some dinner, and just commiserate with you guys. Because I'm exhausted today, and I know you guys are exhausted. And America's really just spiraling the drain at this point when it comes to living a good life here. Like I said, hey, if you manage to attain a kind of wealth that allows your life to be nice and simple and easy, good for you. Really, truly, I'm happy for you. You got it good. But for the rest of us, life's getting difficult. But everyone, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support. Welcome to my house, by the way. This is my couch and my computer stuff's over there, but it has my business stuff and I don't want to show you that just yet. But we're actually going to build an office down here. Build like a set, right? Because I'm tired of being in the couch and I don't really have the time to go for the walk and talks like I used to. So this is what we're going to have to do. And this video kind of sucks. As far as the viewpoint of good angles and stuff, but it is what it is. Wanted to put one out there for you guys, and thanks for stopping by. Hey, like and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good